Naiop is an excellent example of a go-to organization in New Jersey. When I came to New Jersey after 14 years of being in New York, I decided that Naiop was one of the first organizations I was going to join. Not only is it great for networking, the advocacy is phenomenal, the leadership is phenomenal, and it's just a fantastic organization to get to know people and to be in front of all of the issues.
I've only been in New Jersey for 2 years, coming from Texas, and I have found Naiop important to be able to form relationships with people in the Northeast and get to know the companies and the industry in the state.
It's a much larger organization than many real estate organizations. New Jersey has one of the largest chapters in the country. When you're involved in an organization like this, you want to be surrounded by all of the top players for a multitude of reasons.
It helps my business because the people who I need to meet and interact with are there. I get to meet them in a relaxed social situation. We learn together and we end up doing business together.
Through Naiop, I've been able to meet people that have become friends of mine that have talents that I've been able to bring on to teams that we put together. The members of Naiop have a lot of diversity in their skills, so it's finding that right individual or the right firm to assist us in the projects that we're working on.
Naiop gives me access to the highest level decision makers in the commercial real estate industry in New Jersey, as well as attorneys, developers, brokers. The real decision makers come to Naiop.
It fosters the growth of women in the industry. Like the other organizations that are just women specific, Naiop, it certainly welcomes women in. There's powerful women, there's women just starting out, there's developing leader women. And I think it's very important that you get out there and you network and you do PR for yourself, your firm, and women in the industry.
What inspires me about the industry is the camaraderie between the professionals that work in it. I've been in this for a couple of decades now and have lifelong relationships that have become personal friendships. And from all different aspects of the business, we're all working for the same goal. And at the end of the day, when the transaction closes, there's a sense of accomplishment and a sense of teamwork among all the professionals that were involved in that transaction.
And I think the fun part is I've known these people before I'm working with them. So you have a relationship that is not strictly professional, a relationship where you've talked about things that you do on the weekend or at night that really makes it more open and more trusting of your consultants and the team that you put together to work with you. I think through Naiop you have the ability to create relationships. Since people find a lot of value in coming, they continue to come. It's just not a one time where you shake their hand, exchange a business card, talk for a few minutes and say, I'll see you around. You know you'll see individuals at Naiop events that you want to see. The newer generation of real estate professionals are starting to filter into Naiop, and we do have a large, diverse membership that anyone from day one on a job to being in a job for 30 years will find benefit in being members of Naiop.
So I think it's very important for people to know that they're not coming in to just another boring seminar and sitting there and their eyes are going to glaze over. It's issues that are important to them.
Out of all the organizations that I have been involved in, Naiop has definitely been the most beneficial to me personally and my business. If I had to recommend one organization in this state for commercial real estate professionals, it would be Naiop. Hands down.
Naiop's main purpose is to advocate for public policy that benefits the industry. Everything that we advocate for is well thought out, based on our resources when we're dealing on public policy issues.
You have a very diverse set of personalities, diverse set of industries and talents. I think it's a very dynamic organization, and I think we can, people can feed off of the energy and feed off of the collaboration to help make the organization be more influential in Trenton and advocating for the industry and advocating for the state in general.
Naiop takes a long-term view of where trends are going in the real estate industry and how can we make impacts on the New Jersey government. And what's the best way to do that is through advocacy. It's the continuation in its message. It's consistent. We're there with the right facts to support legislation that we're looking to implement. Again, it's the long-term view. There's things that need to happen in the next 6 months, but we know where the industry is going. We know trends that are impacting our industry. We're trying to communicate with the leaders of New Jersey to say, this is something you should be thinking about, and this is something that you could be doing to better the state.
It takes a lot of work for government to understand the needs of the development community. It doesn't just happen. There needs to be agendas and communication and meetings and drafts circulated, and that's what Naiop's advocacy does, and that allows legislation and regulatory initiatives, when they are finally put forth, to be better than they might otherwise have been.
We are also a very strong resource for our members because we educate them on the nuts and bolts of how the legislation and the regulations and the codes and the technology and trends are going to be affecting their business. So they are then better armed with the facts and figures that they need to make a more compelling case to the municipalities in which they're taking their project to.
What you see every day is so much government involvement at all levels. We need a group like Naiop to have their finger on the pulse of everything that's going on in terms of government decisions, trends, initiatives that either are currently impacting development or which will impact development, as much as we often find government to be an obstacle. If you get in at the right time and with the right people and the right strategy, they'll listen to you.
I think there's a lot of synergy there for municipalities and developers. There's a lot more commonality, I think, between our members and what municipal officials are looking for in their communities.
I think Naiop membership is valuable because you get to meet professional business connections in work clothes and then have the ability to hang out with them in t-shirt and jeans later on.
I think it's great because it's a good way to get younger people involved in the industry because it's kind of intimidating. You deal with people who are worth many millions of dollars. They're very successful. They're excellent golfers.
Naiop's been a tremendous organization for me because I've watched my father participate at various different levels over the years, and he's found great enjoyment out of everything that Naiop offered him. So I wanted to follow in his footsteps and make some of the friends that he's made through the organization, and I have, and I've really enjoyed it very much.
One thing that I find valuable about Naiop is the Developing Leaders program, which allows me to hang out with people in the industry at social events and be able to break down the stuffiness of meetings in conference rooms, and it allows you to get to know people on a deeper level.
I would say keep an open mind and listen because there's a lot of smart people, a lot of very accomplished people in this organization who are the movers and shakers of the industry in New Jersey. Listen to them. Be open, be a sponge, absorb as much as you can, take advantage of all the events that you go to, exchange business cards, ask them to lunch, really be aggressive with your career development.
It's great to see a lot of the younger folks. I look back at my career, and when I started, you're a little lost. You're young relative to the industry, and to have a place where there's a common bond and a connection, and you grow in your career in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you're still around and you're all growing and you have that bond, and that bond has been Naiop. It's a terrific thing.
For a younger person moving into the area or new to the industry, this offers a way to kind of break the ice, make things a little easier, speaking to somebody. You see someone, you talk to them about little things here and there, you see someone at the next event, you talk about something else, and then soon maybe you see them across a boardroom table, you see them across for a deal or at a planning board meeting. So it's definitely a way to kind of introduce yourself to the organization and a great way to start your career.
We like to think of ourselves as problem solvers for the municipalities in which we do business. We're corporate citizens of those communities, and I think that the membership takes a long-term view of the health of the communities in which we develop. And local officials, planners, zoning officials, mayors, economic development types will view us as a resource, especially these days. I think that the people in Naiop can be a resource for those town officials to help them identify what would have a benefit to their citizens and bring in jobs and make the place a nicer place to live.
Naiop is an enormously important platform because of the importance of its membership to the government. The government, of course, wants there to be development in the state, continued development in the state, people staying, not leaving, people expanding their businesses here. So they know that they need to keep the business community happy. I think it's clear that Naiop and the functions that it serves are absolutely critical to the development of the state.
What inspires me about commercial real estate is the ability to create and transform communities and shape the way that people live.
Really, it's one of the unique industries where you have an ability to make a difference in everything that you do on a daily basis, because everything you work on today is going to be around for generations, decades, and centuries to come. So you really have the ability to make a difference that in any other business you can never make. And that's something that's always attracted me to the real estate industry.
You can actually point to something to say that you built it, you own it, or you've developed it, or you've created value. Or you can go to Jersey City, or you can go to parts of Newark, or other parts of the state that are experiencing big redevelopment. You could say, you know, not only did I build a building, I built a community, I built an area, and I've changed people's lives and made people's lives better.
I think what inspires everyone with the New Jersey real estate market is that developers have created some truly unique places that individuals and citizens in New Jersey want to go to. They want to go there for dinner on Friday, they want to go to work there Monday through Friday, and they want to bring their families there and visitors there. And if not for the New Jersey commercial real estate industry, those places wouldn't be in existence. And I think it's the drive of the developer, the creativity of the developer, and the ingenuity of the developer that really makes these spaces great.
The incentives are fantastic, the buildings are fantastic, the landlords, the talent pool, the proximity to the major highways to New York City. New Jersey is a great option for companies.
We have some of the best parks in the entire country. We have some of the most beautiful areas for recreation and some of the best school systems to educate your children. And as you grow a family, those things are very important to me. New Jersey is one of the best places to work and live.
You know, we're all in this together. You know, the citizens of New Jersey, the real estate community of New Jersey, and the legislators of New Jersey. We're in this together. I think we're really working closely. And what binds us all together is Naiop. And the vision that Naiop has, and the vision the memberships have, and the respect that Naiop has of state leaders.
And I think that's the big difference with Naiop. It's not just about brokers, it's not just about vendors, it's about everybody in New Jersey that real estate touches.